Hey YouTube. Alright, it's December 30th, 2024, and we're approaching the new year, and I thought it would be good to do a video recap. It has been an incredible 2024. I've only been doing YouTube for like 2 weeks now, but it seems to be this creative outlet that I've just been missing, like so much of my life. Um, I want to, like, I don't think I'm in regret because I think I was doing, I was doing other stuff instead of making YouTube videos, you know, but that it seems to be at the right time and the right place that these opportunities have arrived. So, I'm grateful for that. It's been an incredible 2024. A ton of studying. There's been a ton of like focus on the MCAT, focus on school, studying for school, tests, quizzes, homework, all these assignments, and then the MCAT, right? Like having to study in like 1 month, like taking like several months of study and cramming it into like 1 month, 2 months, because I had thought that the MCAT was that I could take it in spring, but actually I had to take it before like August, the last day of the year, or something like that. And when I had found out, it was already like summertime. So I had this plan to be studying into spring, and I compressed it all into 1 month. And that was like 16, probably 18 hours daily for like a month of studying. And it was like really intense. I mean, it wasn't that bad, like I did it. But, I don't think it helped me. Well, let me take that back. I think it really helped me. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it rather than didn't do it. Um, but I think there were other factors in play, and that was part of my 2024. Was like a lot of successes, but also a lot of failures. And I think there's a lot of stuff that it's hard to account for. And really, it's just about just do your best. And so that was my 2024 kind of summed up. A lot of troubles too, like because I'm a student, I have like no income, um, which I think for someone who's my age, I think it would seem like that's a problem, but actually it's been a real blessing because I've been able to, like what do you have when you don't have work and money? You have a lot of time, and I think I've been using that time, like reasonably effective, and it's been, there are projects that I'm working on that I don't always document in YouTube, and it's been a real blessing. I think I've been making strides in things that I think would not have been so easy that I could see from where I am at right now to access if I had, to tend to like a 9 to 5 job or whatever, like that. And there's something about like having something that I think depletes or otherwise affects one's capacity to consider, I don't know how to phrase this, like it affects their perception of resources. So like me not having money really allowed me to be creative, or I should say, me not having like regular income like that allowed me to be creative and allowed me to do things differently than I would have otherwise done. Because like what would I have done anyway? Like I would have spent money, and I think not having that option so clearly, or obviously, really forced me to consider alternatives. And I think maybe as a maybe as a negative aspect of some parts of, society, is that there's this emphasis on like money, right? Like the tangible quality of like money, like being able to make decisions because you have money, being able to like follow through on things because you have money, um, having certain like options available because you have money, I think is true on some in some sense, but I think it can be extremely limiting, because when that becomes the primary choice, it's it's almost, what's the word? What's the word with the horses and the, it becomes hard to see the alternatives. Like it becomes really hard to see creative avenues that could have been possible. Um, and so for me, this year has been like, I guess it's been super creative, um, but also super challenging, because like pressing, the the ever present pressing of money is like real, right? Like I gotta pay off my car, or I have to, you know, buy something, and it's disappointing, right? Like it can be disappointing if like I don't, if I'm not able to like pay for something that I feel like I should be able to afford. And especially like at my age, I think the pressure is on, right? Like the pressure is on to succeed. The pressure is on to like show something. Um, but I've been thinking about time differently. Really, I've been thinking about time differently than I think most people, because my perception of things is that when people perceive time, especially, or let me back up, when people perceive resources to be limited, they make interesting decisions. And I think one of the most pressing, or maybe not pressing, but one of the most interesting resources is time, right? Like people talk about time as a resource. People talk about time as this like thing that they have very like it's always like slipping through their hands. Um, and I think that's a corrosive, like it's a potentially corrosive way to think. Um, I mean, I guess I can get into it more, but anyway, 2024 has been like that. I've been trying to avoid those things. I've been trying to like, be really just chill and like focused on like a higher measure of things. And part of that's been my, going back to school, applying to all these programs, applying to like summer programs, then, rediscovering or like discovering YouTube. Um, there's been some art projects. What else have I done? I met some cool people along the way. Wrote a book, like so many cool things. Um, I'm really excited for 2025. I think this momentum is pretty strong. I think I've got a lot of good programs running. I think I've got a lot of interesting research that I'm doing for myself personally that's going to carry into 2025 and beyond. I think, however things go, a lot of people have been like, maybe not a lot of people. I suppose one person is a lot in this case, but um, they're like, what are you going to do if you don't get into med school? I'm like, I'm going to get into med school. Like, A, I'm going to get into med school. B, there is no alternative. And C, if that journey to get into med school requires me to go spend a year, quote unquote, washing toilets and like dishes or whatever until I get to med school, I guess that's gonna happen. And I'm gonna crush it, and it's gonna be awesome. And I'm gonna do a lot of other cool stuff while that's happening. And you might get to see it on YouTube if that's the way it goes down. I don't think it's gonna go down that way, but if the universe is gonna push and shove, I guess I'm gonna have to like hold it down somehow. Um, yeah. Huh? So it'll be interesting. Steady as it goes right now. I think that's the plan. And I've got a bunch of content that's like unreleased with plans to release it and edit it. Um, what else am I doing in my life? Just staying focused. I'm living this time like I'm 38, but I'm living this time like I'm 18. I feel like I feel like I'm 18 again. I feel like I just got out of high school, and it's super awesome. So I'm gonna go to Reno tomorrow with my parents. Um, yeah, just a lot of positive vibes going on right now. Um, what else can I talk about? Success in YouTube. Like, I'm just surprised it's so successful so far. Um, I've been working on other projects like finances. I think I can talk more about that. That hasn't been so successful, but yeah, like actually recently so not successful. But I think it's been a learning experience where like anywhere I've taken losses, like I pivot and I don't let that slow me down because I think part of like life seems to be taking like big hits, like just taking big hits and like painful hurts and seeing what you're gonna do with it. You know, are you gonna like, am I gonna like sulk and am I gonna like sell at this point? Am I gonna like just eat this loss? Like, no. Well, I suppose people are welcome to whatever they want to do, but like, no, not me. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go and like do something interesting with this. So that's where I'm at now. Is I refuse to be taking realized losses. I don't know if that sounds right. Like, I'm not staying down, is what I'm trying to say. You can keep at it. Universe can keep thumbing, thumbing my scars and my wounds, and the universe can keep. I shouldn't even be blaming the universe. The universe is probably like, yo, I didn't do nothing. Why are you blaming me? Like, I don't know, man. You know, I had to blame somebody, and I'm not really blaming you. I'm just like pointing to this like hard to pinpoint entity. Anyway, if the universe is gonna give me a hard time, you know what? I guess I'm gonna have to like go through that, and I have no desire to like just give up. So if the universe is expecting some wrestling, man, I might F5 or I don't know if I can suplex anyone, but I'll, you know, jump off like a cage and like through a table. Sounds dangerous too, though. You know what I mean. I'll wrestle. Um, it'll be a good time. No one's gonna get hurt. Um, yeah. So that's my life right now. Um, it's been a lot of good planning, a lot of good food, a lot of good like just being. So trying to keep those good vibes going into 2025. I got like one more day, and trying to release content like every, you know, as often. Like, so the goal is like a day every day, but you know, like as often as possible. And okay, I think this video has gone on long enough. Look, it's 2024. See you in 2025. And if you're watching this again later on, maybe I should save this for another video, but this video is going to get over I'm going to call out a number. This video is going to get eventually over 10,000 views. Let's make it happen. Get it. All right.